finally back in the dating streets, y'all. It's so funny because one of my friends came to visit me. He was like, girl, I thought God was trying to make you into a nun. And I'm like, me too. Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Book of Brianna, a podcast. I am your host, Dr. Brianna Whiteside, and I'm so excited to chat with you today about cuffing season. Yep, I'm talking about cuffing season. I'm talking about getting chosen. I'm asking you, are you delaying your marital destiny? Let's demystify this stuff because it's too many of us single out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too many quality women of God who are single, and I'm tired of it, including me. I'm tired of it for me, so I'm also tired of it for you. Y'all, I am back in these dating streets, and before I start telling you the stories, I want to ask you to like this video. Go ahead and like it for me so it can get started in the algorithm, so YouTube will know to show this to more people, because we're about to take a practical step towards dating. I want to share some insights. I want to share some things that I've learned, but I also want to challenge you to potentially get out of your own way. That is what I know a lot of women of God are experiencing. Us being in our own way. And I know in Christian circles, we like to kind of act like it's just an only God thing, but that's just not true, y'all. It's not just a God thing. There is a level of participation that is required from you, as with anything. We are in partnership with Christ. And so that means that even getting down the aisle, something is going to be required of you. And if you haven't been doing your part, I wonder if that's why you haven't met the person who you're supposed to do life with. Just food for thought. So let's get into this, y'all. I am back in the dating streets. I am finally back in the dating streets, y'all. It's so funny because one of my friends came to visit me, and he was like, girl, I thought God was trying to make you into a nun. And I'm like, me too. Me too. Yo, the last 5 years of my life has been not only spiritual trial and error, not only spiritual growth, but it was literally a desert season. Y'all know I live in Vegas, and it's the desert, and don't not really be growing out there. And I know Vegas gets that, oh my God, you live in Vegas, but no, outside of the strip, it's the desert. So living in Vegas, it has been a desert experience. Like, everything you think about the children of Israel doing, I probably did too. I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna act like I've been a saint the whole time I was here. No, it was a trial and error, but I made it to the other side. And I say I made it to the other side because God has lifted I don't know, should we say embargo? Whatever he lifted, the non-dating, your girl back out here. And it's so funny because I tell this joke like, y'all know how, if y'all have pets, I don't have pets, but I've seen my friends' pets. And say for instance, you're at work all day and you got your pets locked up in the cage. Well, when you come home and it's time to take them pets outside, what they do? They run straight out the door. That was me. That was me. Straight to the streets. Not in the streets though, back to the dating streets. And it has been a very phenomenal journey as of yet. And I want to share some snippets with you. Not too much though, because y'all need to mind your business and mind the business that's gonna get you down the aisle. But no, for real, y'all, all jokes aside, it has been wonderful. It has been wonderful. And I want to kind of use my story to kind of frame this episode, right? I won't be here long. We're gonna get to the main point. So the first thing that I want to ask you is, are you speaking against yourself? Are you speaking against the things that you say you want? So many times I hear women, I don't know, men probably do say it too, but because I'm around women more, I hear women say it's pee in the dating pool. Meaning they use that phrase to mean there's no quality men out here, there's no great candidates, you know, or they say that after a bad experience with dating. And I just refuse to say that. I have always refused to adopt that ideology. I believe that your words create worlds. And I have always been against speaking against the pool that I'm trying to choose from. Like, yeah, you may have some negative experiences, but if you continue to curse the dating pool, you're going to get the cursed dating pool, period. That's what you're going to get, because the Bible tells you, you will have what you say. So I always tell people, stop speaking against the very pool that you're choosing from. I'm not going to ever say there's pee in the dating pool. Because my dating pool hasn't been full of pee. My dating pool has been washed out with the blood. No, let me stop. My dating pool got chlorine in it. Okay? My dating pool has some very great candidates in it. Now, you may take some time to kind of weed through it, but that's fine. That's fine. My approach to dating is, yes, my end result, my end goal is to be married. And I am clear with the men that I may meet or converse with, hey, this is my end goal. I want to be married. But I do also recognize there is a journey. I'm not trying to start interrogating the men on the first date. I generally want to get to know you as a person. So in the past, what my approach was let me just start seeing if they check all boxes. Check, 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 check. And that got me in trouble because I was trying to like compare them against the man in my head, even though the man in my head doesn't exist. And this time around, I don't have a list. I don't have a list, y'all. I remember I went on a date. Let me tell y'all, I went on this date and we were getting to know each other and having a great time. And the man guy was like, so tell me what you like about me. And I started to tell him the things that I liked about him or whatever. And he was just like, well, you know, I don't really like checking off people's boxes. Like, I don't want to feel like you only like me because I check off your boxes. And I was like, well, that's impossible because you don't check off any boxes for me because I don't have a list, right? I'm not moving from a list. My approach to dating this time around was, God, apparently I don't know what I need. So I need you to guide me through this process to show me what I need. Because in the past, I was going after what I wanted. And apparently, I don't know everything about my future. You do. Help me to choose based on what you know I'm going to need. In the now, in the future, based on people's capacity, things of that nature, right? And that approach frees me up. It frees me up of a lot of stress. Like, I'm not stressed out here dating because I'm like, the end goal is marriage, but also I'm gonna let God kind of navigate me through this experience as I take my time, as I take the pressure off of me. I never want to move in relationships or move in dating from like a poverty-based mentality or a fear-based mentality. I always want to move from confidence and awareness and surety. And so that experience, when I told the man of God that, he ain't had nothing to say, y'all. He was quiet. He sat back in his chair like, what size ring you on? No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that, but he did breathe a breath of fresh air, right? Because I'm like, no, I'm not comparing you to anything. Right? I'm giving you a fair shot based on what I'm seeing. And, you know, as time goes on, you know, we get to know one another. Things will come up naturally. I'll have certain questions when I know it's right to ask. And, you know, I've made certain assessments, things of that nature. And I'm like, it's easier. It's fun. It's really fun getting to know people when we stop trying to say, let me hurry up and get down the aisle. Yes, your goal is to get down the aisle. But you miss the beauty of getting to know another human being because you're treating them like an object. And that is what a lot of people do, a lot of women do. And I want to say, if you're doing that, you need to cut it. Okay. Secondly, I want to kind of ask you, are you delaying your marital season? And by delaying, I mean you are not a willing participant. I don't know how we've got here in Christianity and Christian circles and Christian womandom, if we can use that. But there is this idea that God is just going to drop a man at your doorstep. Whether you have said that or not, I want to ask you, do you subconsciously believe that he's just going to drop him at your doorstep? Like, I'm going to be at home one day and this man just going to knock on the door because he got a piece of my mail. The likelihood of that happening is not high. And I'm saying this to say, you need to get out. A lot of believing women have mastered the art of communication vertically, right? Up and down, you and God. But when you get around a man, you don't even know how to talk. You don't know how to act. You don't know how to be a woman. You don't know none of that. You're awkward. You get awkward and you want, then because you get awkward, sometimes women default to the spiritual strength. So that is a form of spiritual bypassing, because then now you're trying to default here because it's your comfort level, because you don't know how to lean in and engage with the man that you may be interested in. It's weird. And the issue is that you don't know how to communicate. You may not know how to communicate with men because you've only mastered the art of communication with God. And that's all fine and dandy if you've mastered the art of communication with God, but are you marrying God? Is God gonna be abs, biceps, and triceps in cuffing season for you when you get married? Because I ain't telling you to be in nobody's bed. Is God going to keep you warm at night? No. I roll over in a cold spot every night just like you. And I'm sick of it, okay? And I was just like, no, like, it ain't no way. So when I felt the release, and hear me, this segment is for people who've already done their work, right? People who have done their healing work, people who you know that this is your season, you just haven't met anybody. This is a pep talk for you. Now, you just getting out of something, you need to go ahead and sit this one out, because I'm not talking to you, because you're going to create more victims than not. I'm talking to the folks who've done their work and they're ready to get out there and get wifed up, like me. Where do you go? Do you physically go to church? I don't know what it is, but some people think like, I'm only going to meet a man of God in church, and I'm like, you're probably not, because all the women in church is probably hoping to meet this same man of God there, right? And you may not even like the men of God there. Your church may not even have a lot of men. So if you're not going to churches with men and you're just at your church that may be woman heavy, where are you going to find them at church? So I don't know. I think we kind of got to think a little bit practically on here. I know that I don't go to the grocery store often enough, so I'm probably not going to meet my boo at the grocery store. It's not going to happen. Where might I meet my boo? On an app? Or out and about now that I have a social life? I don't know why people are against meeting folks on apps. I don't know, because there's so many ways for you to meet someone, right? Before you meet them. You will match with them on the app or whatever. Y'all may have text communication on the app. There's a way that you can phone call them or video call them until you're comfortable enough exchanging numbers. And then once you're comfortable exchanging numbers, then maybe y'all can go out or move off app. You know what I'm saying? Like there are steps to this. What people have done, they've demonized apps in a digital world. And what do I mean? I mean people who met their spouses years before the internet. They've been married 50 years. And they talking bad about apps. They don't even use the internet. Or people who are not married but saying, I don't trust the app. Why don't you trust the app? And if you have a valid reason, and you can't say, oh, it's just weird people on the app, it's weird people in the world, it's weird people at your job, it's weird people at your church, you probably weird, you know what I'm saying? Like, but what I'm saying is, you cannot let people who've been married for years, who are not even in the dating streets, y'all, the rules have changed. A lot of the rules have changed, okay? And I'm not telling you to lay your standards down, because I still got my standards pretty high. And guess what? People are rising to the occasion to meet them. You can't let people who have been with their husbands or wives 50 years talk bad about the modes of communication that we have today to meet people. Okay, so you don't like the dating app. Are you on social media? Or is your page public? Is it private? Will somebody be able to slide into your DM? Okay, maybe not, but you should consider that. Or are you out? Are you going to events? Are you going to meetups? Are you social? This has nothing to do with God sometimes, y'all. Sometimes it has everything to do with you, your unwillingness to participate, and you sabotaging what you really say that you want. Are you open? Right? Because there was a time in my life, y'all, where I wasn't open to anything that did not look like my type. I don't even know what my type was. It was an aesthetic. That's really what it was, an aesthetic. And as I've done my work, as I've matured, as I've grown not only just, spiritually, but financially and socially, that starts to look a little bit different now. But that means that the aesthetic might shift, but the quality that I've been attracted to may have stayed the same. But I have to be open to how it presents itself. Listen, y'all, we got to get out there. It's cuffing season. And if you don't know what cuffing season is, it's the season where people get booed up for the holidays, right? It's about to get cold outside. You know, you kind of want to play that Thanksgiving. You want to get invited to Thanksgiving. This is how me and my friends think about it, right? So right now we're in preseason of cuffing season. Preseason started at the end of July, and I think it runs through like the end of September. This preseason, so you got a roster, right? You got a roster of people in there for pre-cuffing season, and now you're trying to figure out who's gonna be the one to be your boo during cuffing season. But for us, we playing a long game here, right? So we just don't want to be the boo for cuffing season. We want to be the wife. So you got your roster. Say you got your starting five, right? I used to play basketball. I was a power forward, just in case y'all didn't know. But you got your starting five. Well, people gonna start falling off. So by October 1st, you may only have two. That's still fine, because maybe towards like mid-October, early November, it may be down to one. That one is gonna get invited to Thanksgiving. You're gonna get a plate at Thanksgiving and somebody mama gonna call you baby. And then you're gonna have your matching pajamas for Christmas. And hopefully, ring by spring. No, let me stop playing with that timeline. But no, for real, y'all, listen. Christian ladies, we gotta stop being weird. We gotta stop over spiritualizing everything. We gotta learn how to communicate with the opposite sex. We spend majority of our time listening to women and talking to women. So when we get in the presence of a man and they present differently and they talk differently, you don't really know what to do there. Also, when you're dating, you have to learn how to extend grace. This cutoff culture is problematic to me. You know what I'm saying? So I was recently conversing with a guy, and when you're getting to know people, yeah, you can say you're Christian, but y'all know there's levels to the faith. There's levels to Christianity. There's levels to women of God. There's levels to men of God. It's not where we don't exist in a monolith. And so when you're getting to know people and they're like, yeah, they're believers, you try to start to kind of assess what type of believer this person is. Do you make certain allowances for certain things? Do you say this is okay, but this is not okay? Does everything go for you? Like, what type of believer, what type of Christian are you? And I'm not one to make any judgment call about anybody's salvation. That's not my thing. That's never been my style. I think it's problematic. But there's levels to what people tolerate. That's what I'm trying to get to. So as you're getting to know someone, they may ask you a question that you may find offensive. All you have to do is redirect. There's not always a grounds to cut somebody off because they asked you a question that may have made you feel uncomfortable. That's grounds for you to use your words and say, oh, I'm not the type of woman, or oh, I don't believe this. For me and my life and my standard, this is how I kind of want to move and handle things, you know, blah, 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 and open it up for a larger discussion so that they can either decide, hey, this is not for me, or hey, yeah, no, I completely get that. I'm sorry if I offended you. Give them opportunity to apologize. I still want to get to know you, right? This cutoff game needs to stop being so strong, because what you're training yourself to do is cut off in marriage. You're training yourself not to use your words, not to be able to coexist, not to trust each other, not to grow. You're training yourself to be alone. That's really what you're doing. So when you're getting to know people, you have to remember, we don't know each other. We don't know each other. We're trying to get to know each other. If you are dating someone who has the same intent to marry, you're both trying to make assessments. Is this person a right fit for me? Which means that there may be a little give and take, but ultimately extend grace. One mistake is not grounds to cut somebody off. One mistake? What you gonna do when your husband makes a mistake or does something you don't like? You gonna cut him off too? No. So stop training yourself to cut somebody off. Now, I'm not telling you, if God's like, nope, this ain't what you want to do, then go ahead and go with God. But if this is just you trying to find a way to wiggle your way out of it, you trying to find a way to stay single, but then go back and cry, spit, and fart to God because you don't have nobody, think about that. Stop running. You're a runner. You're a sprinter. Stop running. You have to learn how to resolve conflict, you have to learn how to hold the tension. Now, if you don't like the person, just say that. Just say, hey, I really don't see anything romantically between us. I don't want to waste your time, blah, blah, blah. Because let me tell y'all something, ladies. Men want to feel valued and appreciated too. Men want to feel that you're not just there to get a meal from them. Men want to, they're human. They're men, and sometimes they're more emotional than us, right? This is just what I found. I ain't saying this always, but I've noticed that men be emo a little bit. But that's fine. I'm not tripping. But they have desires too. Their feelings matter too. They want to be catered to in the same way you want to be catered to as well. They want to feel loved and respected. We ain't the only ones. So as you are getting to know this man, and as this man is putting forth effort, how about you put forth some effort too? How about at some point you take that man on a date too? How about you text good morning first too? Because I've been hearing that good morning text. Like, if he ain't text me good morning, it's very immature. You wake up, the man cross your mind, text that man. Because he wants to know you like him too. We are all human. We're all searching for love and validation and, security within one another. So let's stop perpetuating and being participants in a toxic dating culture. Let's stop doing that. Let's get to know one another with sobriety, with intentionality, with love, with care, with grace, knowing that this is somebody's son, that this is somebody's daughter, that this is someone who's valuable to God. Even if you don't see a romantic value in y'all's connection, be honorable and say that. Be honorable and tell the truth. I think that more times than not, Christian women, we get in our own way. We flock to the prophetic words where God is saying, okay, your husband is on the way, blah, blah, blah. But we don't do enough work to position ourselves for marriage, and positioning yourself is accurate. Go read Ruth. I know we love to quote and say, I'm looking for my Boaz. Well, go see how Ruth positioned herself, because that was a masterful positioning. We don't want to position ourselves. We don't want to do any work. We just want to be passenger seat princesses, pillow princess. Like, we don't want to do any work, and that's just not true. We love to quote the Proverbs 31 woman. Go look at how much work she did. Go look at it. And so I think that we need to be more sober. I think we need a wake-up call, and I think we need to kind of stop living in like la la land or fairy tale land, because that's going to keep us single. That's going to keep us single. Just sitting in the house praying and listening to sermons all day, that's going to keep you single longer than you want to. Your relationship with God is important, yes, but your relationship with others is important as well. How are you with your horizontal relationships, or have you only focused on the vertical? And could that be why you are still single, or could that be? Could that be? Because at one point in my life, that was it. And before I got back into the dating arena, I had every reason to be afraid and to be like, I don't want to put myself out there. But I was like, no, you say you want marriage. You say you want someone. Let's go. Does it mean that I'm going to meet my husband this first go around? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But the truth is, I'm out here. I'm out here. I'm actively positioning myself. I'm actively doing the things that I need to do. I'm on social media. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. I'm outside. I'm at church. I'm going to the hangouts. I'm going to the cookouts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am doing my part. Even if I am tired, it's going to take a sacrifice to get what I say I want. So sometimes I got to push through tiredness. Sometimes I got to start swiping on this day nap. So let's demystify this. Let's stop delaying the season that's rightfully appointed to us. And let's partner with God and do what is required of us as women. Put your big girl drawers on and let's go out here and get married. No, let me stop. Y'all, I hope you enjoyed this video, this episode. If you did, please like, subscribe, share. Let me know your thoughts. Are we in our way, or are we just destined to stay single? That ain't my story, but let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to you soon in the next installment of the Book of Brianna. Bye.